Very historical, something that's going to go down, I think, in the books of boxing for many years. Glory in Giza at the weigh-ins will happen right here at the Grand Egyptian Museum, and we're about to see these guys get on the scale and face off one more time.
Let's have the challenger step on the scale first, ladies and gentlemen. The champ gets privileges, but the challenger weighs in first. 258.7 pounds for the challenger, the king of kickboxing, Rico Verhoeven. Now, stepping onto the scales, the reigning and defending world heavyweight champion from Kyiv, Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk. 233.3 pounds.
Here it happened. Yeah, just stay composed, hold on to your energy, as you can see he's doing. Stick to the plan, hold on to your energy. Tomorrow, showtime.
What's Usyk thinking? I mean, Usyk's had formidable challenges. Anthony Joshua twice, Daniel Dubois twice, and then obviously the undisputed against Tyson Fury. This isn't that. He's not fighting someone with an Olympic background, someone that's won unified titles. He's fighting someone that's had one professional boxing match. What's he thinking?
I believe he's so much of a professional. He's been at these big moments so many times before, Adi, that it's just another day at the office. And you can say that with someone like Usyk, but even though it's just another day at the office, he's going to handle it like nothing less than a professional.
But I do think they are observing each other, and they're trying to read each other, and they're trying to kind of see little micro expressions, and
I love it.
And they're not giving it, right?
Yes.
They're just
they're gonna have to put a hand in there to stop that one. To stop
Every
that stare down.
single face-off stare down should have Rocky music.
Yes.
Everything else should be banned. This is it. This one now, this has gone on a minute now.
And they'll keep going. This is an energy thing. Who's gonna look away first? Who's gonna...
Does that mean anything? Does it mean something?
Sanchez! And now we have the fighters face off for the final time. Again, these two competing tomorrow in a 12-round contest. It is a final eliminator for the IBF Heavyweight World Championship.
This is like a Canelo Crawford rematch. You got Matt McIntyre versus Eddie Reynoso. I like this matchup a lot. Very quickly as well, Alistair, two heavyweights in good shape.
They're looking good shape. I hope they're in good shape. They better be, right?
Yes. They better be. A lot of people very excited about Richard Torres, unbeaten. Everyone thinks that he could potentially match up future down the line against Moses Italma.
Yes, not only that, it's because he can fight Adi, and he calls out Moses. He wants that smoke.
These two competing tomorrow in a 12-round contest for the vacant WBA regular welterweight championship of the world.
Malik, I think this one, of all the fights on the card, is the hardest one to pick. I think if you poll 100 people, I think it could be split down the middle. Shakram Girsov, unbeaten, great amateur. Jack Coucher, we know the story, should have been undisputed at 140.
Yes.
Now chasing gold at 147. This is different.
Yes, and I also believe it's going to be fight of the night. Catterall is a beautiful southpaw counter puncher, but Giasov fights southpaws very well. And another thing, Adi, by Giasov, when he hit people, he automatically changed their mannerisms. I don't care if he punch guys on the arm, if he punch them on the hip, they just change, and he take them in deep water and drown them. And this is a great fight, and he also...
The fighters face off for the final time. Again, these two competing tomorrow in a 10-round contest for both the ring and WBO Women's Super Flyweight Championship of the World.
I'm a massive fan of Mizuki Aruta. Obviously, look, really came to the attention of boxing fans last year, women winning the Rings magazine Female Fighter of the Year.
I think Usyk loses this fight in Egypt.
Oh, shut up, Derek. You know you don't. You're just saying it to get a reaction.
I'm telling you.
You think Usyk...
What? In what universe?
Yeah, but you picked Dillian White to beat... You put your house on Dillian White to beat Tyson Fury, didn't you? Back in the day.
Hold on.
I bet you didn't
that's what I'm saying. You got your own choices.
I think, you know, he's going to go out there and do whatever he wanted to do. You know, I think Rico going to be tough at first, but I think Usyk with his experience, he's going to figure him out fairly early.
He'll take what you give him. You know, he'll go to the body, he'll split the guard with the uppercut. You know, there's so many things he can do. And again, it's going to be not can he do it, does he want to do it? Does he want to do it, and how fast does he want to do it? Does he want to do it when the bell rings or go after it? Then he breaks the guy down. I think the over-under is 3.5, right? Something like that.
Rico Verhoeven is dangerous. The guy's a big lump and he can punch. Like, I'm interested to know.
Does he land a punch against Oleksandr Usyk?
Absolutely. Do you want to bet? He lands a
No, he'll land a punch.
He will land punches on Oleksandr Usyk. He'll be actually took back in the first 2 to 3 rounds by his style and what will happen.
And I think that's going to be a real shock for Usyk because he ain't going to box him. Like, Rico's not going to box him, he's just going to attack him.
Two worlds collide as Usyk steps into the unknown against Verhoeven, and the fight world is split on how this ends. The legendary Terence Crawford sees Usyk taking control early and closing the show within the opening rounds.
You know, I respect all fighters, you know. It takes, you know, a lot of heart and guts to get in that ring and perform, you know, time after time after time. So, you know, me and Usyk, we always respected each other from day one, and I'm looking forward to supporting him come Saturday.
Yeah, what do you think about his fight against Rico Verhoeven?
I think, you know, he's going to go out there and do whatever he wanted to do. You know, I think Rico going to be tough at first, but I think Usyk, with his experience, he's gonna figure him out fairly early, and I don't know. We're going to see for a good fight.
While many see pressure on Usyk with so much at stake, Terence Crawford believes he thrives under it and will use it the same way against Rico as he did with his all opponents.
He's used to the pressure. You got to understand, like, Usyk been having a lot of pressure on him since the Olympics, since winning the Olympics, since, you know, going up to heavyweight and beating Fury and all the things that he's been doing in the ring. So he's used to the pressure. It's no pressure for him.
On the other side, Eddie Hearn warns the impossible has already happened with Fury and Ngannou, and one clean shot from Rico could end Usyk's night.
I think it's a massive mountain to climb. I think whenever you are changing disciplines and you come in against the best in the division, it's always going to be a hard night's work. You're not just doing that against the best in the division, you're doing that against a pound-for-pound #1. But in this division, as we saw with Ngannou against Fury, and you know, the difference is these guys can really punch, and if they land clean, there's going to be a problem, and Verhoeven can really punch.
But Teddy Atlas disagrees, saying it is entirely up to Usyk, who can control how long the fight lasts against a guard-heavy opponent who leaves openings.
That it's just up to Usyk. What does he want to do? Does he want to get some rounds in? You know, does he want to box a little bit, get some rounds in? You know, take a peek at the pyramids as he's moving around a little bit. You know, and does he want to do that, or does he want to push the metal to the pedal a little bit, the pedal to the metal, and look to go to the body, look to catch this guy with counter punches, look to set up his combinations that he's very capable of setting up on a guy who stands straight, tall guy who covers up, but he gives you a target.
Giving his prediction, Teddy Atlas expects it to end within 3.5 rounds, with Usyk breaking Rico down and making it look surprisingly easy.
He's there. He covers pretty good, but when a guy covers like that, you're fighting a guy like Usyk, you know, it's like having a heavy bag in front of you. Usyk will put punches together. He'll take what you give him. You know, he'll go to the body, he'll split the guard with the uppercut. You know, there's so many things he could do. And again, it's going to be not can he do it, does he want to do it? Does he want to do it, and how fast does he want to do it? Does he want to do it when the bell rings or go after it? Then he breaks the guy down. I think the over-under is 3.5, right? Something like that. Then he breaks the guy down. He's got a shot for the under. Otherwise, it's going to be over. It's going to be an over because he's going to use his jab. He's going to take a lay of the land.
Then comes a blunt take from Derek Chisora, stirring debate as he predicts Usyk will lose in the pyramids of Giza, convinced Rico's power will put him to sleep.
I think Usyk loses this fight in Egypt.
Oh, shut up, Derek. You know you don't. You're just saying it to get a reaction.
I'm telling you.
You think Usyk...
What? In what universe?
Yeah, but you pick Dillian White to beat... You put your house on Dillian White to beat Tyson Fury, didn't you? Back in the day.
Hold on.
Another bet you didn't pay up.
That's what I'm saying. You got your own choices. Yeah.
You're just saying it to get a rise.
I'm not trying to get a rise. I'm telling you.
So you think?
Listen, this guy.
You're going to back it. So Verhoeven would beat you then, right?
Mate, maybe so. But I'm telling you, he might beat you. He's going to beat Usyk.
Joining the conversation, Tyson Fury, who has sparred Rico for years and knows his power firsthand, gives a serious warning. He believes Rico's right hand, the same shot that has taken out many opponents, will land on Usyk. Fury admits Usyk has already beaten top right-handers, including himself, but insists Rico operates on a different level, and once Usyk steps inside, he will quickly realize this is a much tougher fight than expected.
I remember they wouldn't sanction me and Ngannou for the title. That wasn't a title fight. That was like a special, whatever, an exhibition type thing. So I'm not sure.
Has he got a chance?
He's a big man, isn't he? He's a big man.
Big right hand that knocks
right
people out.
Yeah, I've seen it. But I'm sure Usyk's faced plenty of right hand people who can knock people out, hasn't he? I.e. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. He's fought a lot of big men with a similar style to Rico. But listen, he's a big man. He's got a chance. He's got power. Who knows what he can do in there? But Usyk's, what is he, 39 years old now? But the thing with him is he's only had 24 fights, so he doesn't have a lot of mileage on the clock. And he turned pro in late 2013, so I think he's going to be all right.
The UFC champion Tom Aspinall, who claims to have sparred Rico for around 10 years, also weighs in. He believes Rico's movement and timing could create real problems for Usyk in key moments. However, Aspinall is honest about the gap, saying Usyk operates on another level, and imagining Rico beating him is still hard to picture. Even so, he insists Rico's size, power, and experience give him at least a fighting chance.
Does he have any chance?
I mean, I've been sparring Rico for 10 years, so I know him well. He's like, I'm lucky enough to say that he's a friend of mine as well. Super good guy. I think anybody's got a chance, don't they? But I think Usyk's is a fucking other level. And I'm not, just because like Rico's my friend, don't mean I'm going to sit here on a podcast and lie about it. Like, he's up against it. He's up against it.
Respectful, which you're supposed to.
Yeah, he's up against it.
Can he win?
I think anybody can win in combat sports. I think everybody's got a chance. Rico's a big human being. He might cause Usyk some problems with his move.
Backing that stance, Tony Bellew also believes Rico has a real chance. He questions that if Francis Ngannou could drop Tyson Fury, then Rico with sharper boxing skills could trouble Usyk in the same way. Bellew suggests it is not far-fetched to think one clean moment could change everything, especially against a fighter as dominant as Usyk, making this matchup far more dangerous than many expect.
Is Rico a better boxer than Francis Ngannou?
Yes.
Okay, well, Francis Ngannou dropped the unified heavyweight champion of the world in Tyson Fury. So doesn't sound very ludicrous anymore, does it? If Rico Verhoeven was going in with Francis Ngannou, would he be the favourite in a boxing match?
Yes, I think he would.
Okay, well, there you go.
I do think he would. But I am a little bit biased on Rico's side. But
well, if that's the case, then
I do think he would.
This guy's got a chance. Because Francis Ngannou gave Tyson Fury an absolute hell of a fight. I'm not saying he beat him. A lot of people do think he beat him.
Despite staying in the ring with Usyk, Tony Bellew does not fully change his stance. He says he can still see Rico landing shots on Usyk and even finding a path to victory. Bellew calls Rico a dangerous fighter capable of doing what many have failed to achieve. However, he also warns that the real problem will come once Rico gets figured out and trapped, likely within 2 to 3 rounds due to his own tactical limitations.
And I understand why they think
Come on, you've been in the ring with Usyk though, like.
Unfortunately, I have, yeah, but it makes no change on what my opinion is. Rico Verhoeven is dangerous. The guy's a big lump and he can punch. Like, I'm interested to know.
Does he land a punch against Oleksandr Usyk?
Absolutely. Do you want to bet? He lands a
No, he'll land a punch.
He will land punches on Oleksandr Usyk. He'll be actually took back in the first 2 to 3 rounds by his style. And what will happen.
Giving his thoughts, Tom Aspinall explains what he learned from sparring multiple boxers, saying a fighter from another discipline must rely on something unfamiliar to traditional boxing. He believes that is the only way Rico can find success and land meaningful shots. However, Aspinall is clear that it does not guarantee a win. Still, he adds that if Rico follows that approach correctly, he could give himself a real chance of pulling off an upset.
Now, when I've sparred boxers in the past, the success that I've had, which is very limited, You know, I'll hold my hands up and say I'm not going out there and pinging like professional boxing in a boxing spar, because I'm not. But the success that I have is when I do stuff that they're not used to. I'll be miles out range. I'll dive in and do weird stuff that they're not. I won't do the traditional 1-2. So Usyk has a chance of doing that. Sorry, Rico has a chance of doing that against Usyk, just doing different stuff that he's not accustomed to, like he would be with normal boxers. Does that mean he's going to win the fight? Not necessarily, but it means that he's got a chance.
Rico enters this fight full of confidence, focused on showing his toughness without revealing any part of his plan. He stresses that size plays a major role in combat sports, which is why weight divisions exist in the first place. Every moment of his preparation over the past months has been intense but rewarding, filled with hard work in the gym. Despite the pressure, he remains fully committed to one goal only, walking out with a win no matter how it has to come.
We're definitely not giving away the game plan, but I think size does matter, and that's why we have weight divisions every freaking second. Every freaking second for the last 6 months have been enjoyable, even though it was tough. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went through the gym. But like I said, I've enjoyed every second of it. My objective is I am going to win. And how we're going to do it, let's see what happens. When I hit somebody with my body weight, whatever punch it is, they feel it. I think that's the biggest factor here.
He also describes this camp as a complete reinvention of himself, saying he has evolved in both mindset and approach throughout the process. For him, this is not just another fight, but a new version of his career taking shape. Once this challenge is done, his focus shifts toward bigger ambitions, including future names in the division. But for now, all attention stays on the team behind the strategy and the work still to be completed before fight night.
For the rest, like I said, I've just been reinventing myself. I think that's the best word to give it. Like, I reinvented myself throughout this whole camp. Then I'll take his protege. But let's first start with the coach.
The chances for Rico here are slim, but experts also warn not to underestimate him, especially with the experience he has gained under trainer Peter Fury. They believe the fight will be far tougher than what Usyk's team is expecting, with Rico's preparation making him more dangerous than people assume. There is also a strong belief that this clash is more likely to go the distance than end early, despite Usyk's dominance on paper.
Heavyweight boxing, the kid can whack. He's a big old lump, and he's going to go out there. He's trained for 6 months for this. Believe it or not, under the watchfly of Peter Fury. You know, he's good with his hands anyway, and he gets that opportunity.
You can hardly find anyone that gives Rico much of a chance, but I was talking to Jack Cattrall's team, led by Stephen Smith. They all believe it's going to be a lot harder than Usyk and the team may believe. They think maybe it will go the distance, so there's varying opinions on what happens.
Coming from another man who has been training alongside Rico, Eddie Hall shares his thoughts. He believes Rico is going to be a major problem for Usyk, pointing out the difference in physical potential and the unique demands of different sports. In his view, Rico will not approach this like a pure boxer, but as an attacker, turning the fight into a situation Usyk has never truly experienced in his career.
I honestly think that Rico is going to be a big problem. Big problem for Usyk. Rico, you got to think with the kickboxing, I think, what is it, 3 3-minute rounds or something?
Yep.
Yeah, and they are trained, so you got to think like that. They don't do the 12-round bollocks. Like they are trained just to give 100% for those 3 minutes. And you watch the fight ringside, it is forward, offense. They do not take breaks, and I think that's going to be a real shock for Usyk because he ain't going to box him. Like, Rico's not going to box him, he's just going to attack him.
According to Eddie Hall, the strange angles and unorthodox movement Rico brings could be something elite boxers like Usyk are simply not used to facing. He believes this style alone can create serious problems in a high-level fight like this, especially in the early exchanges. Hall is fully backing his friend, saying confidence is high and that both the boxing world and Usyk himself could be in for a major shock once the action begins.
And boxers aren't used to that. They're used to throwing a few punches, getting out the way, you know, relaxing, taking a breath, flinching. Whereas Rico's just going to walk in and just keep banging. I can guarantee it. And whether that's going to be a problem for Usyk or he's expecting that, I don't know. But they're in for a shock. I think Usyk's in for a shock. Rico's a dangerous boxer.
As if momentum is not swinging in his favor, Rico has already added fuel to the fire with a blunt warning aimed directly at Usyk, promising to knock his head off if given the chance. The message shows just how confident he is heading into this clash, fully convinced he can impose his power and size. It is a statement that has only intensified the debate, with fans now questioning whether Usyk can truly handle this level of aggression and intent.
You're going to. From the first bell, what are you going to do?
Knock his head off. That's what I'm going to do. I'm, like I said, I'm like 55 pounds heavier. So as soon as I hit him, it's going to be something different.
You're going to knock his head off?
Of course.
I think he's only been knocked down once. He's never been knocked, and that was a low blow. He's never been knocked down. You're going to have to go some, Rico.
What an opportunity I have here.
Brushing off the warning, Hamza Shiraz laughed at the claim, calling it a clear reflection of mindset more than reality. In his view, the idea of knocking Usyk out is nothing more than an illusion. Shiraz admits every fighter has a puncher's chance, and Rico is no different in that regard. However, he believes talking beyond what is realistically achievable is dangerous and unnecessary, especially against someone as skilled and disciplined as Usyk.
At the end of the day, God loves a trier, and he absolutely backs himself to cause a major upset.
From power talk to bold predictions, this super fight has divided every corner of the boxing world. But when the bell finally rings, only one opinion will matter inside that ring. Will Usyk's skill shut everything down, or will Rico shock the sport with raw force and belief? Drop your prediction in the comments, subscribe for more fight breakdowns, and stay locked in for the next big update.